And now the Giants look at a 1-game lead in the toughest schedule out of any of those three teams fighting for it, meaning the Cowboys, the Redskins, and the Giants. The Giants by far have the toughest schedule. They have next week they got the Saints at home, then they got the Ravens, the Falcons, and the Eagles. Not an easy 4 games. I mean, the easiest one you can look at is the Eagles, but that's not till week 17. So what happens? Can your boys pull it off? Can the Redskins keep winning?
Well, I think that's really the conversation that yesterday's game sparks is where does the NFC East go from now when you look at these teams' schedules? I still like the Giants the most, though. I do. I think you're going to get a New Orleans team beat up that is a completely different team on the road than they are at home, and you're going to get them at Giants Stadium. You're going to get Atlanta, who at this point is pretty much not doing anything but making sure that they get the number 1 seed, which it looks like they're pretty much set for that. Then you get a Baltimore Ravens team who could still be without Ray Lewis, could possibly be without Terrell Suggs, and offensively is inconsistent at best. You then get a Eagles team who knows what the hell they're going to be by week 17. I mean, for all we know...
Well, Folds is already the starter for the rest of the year.
For the rest of the year. So it's Saints, Ravens, Falcons, Eagles. So that we know that's the Giants schedule. Let's say 2-2. Does that sound fair? Or 3-1? What do you think? In that stretch of 4. 2-2, 3-1, 1-3. Where do you put? Because you know they win at least one. I know they're going to win at least one.
They're going to beat the Eagles. It's the other 3 games I worry about. I'm going to say 2-2.
Okay, so 2-2 puts them at 8-8.
Yeah.
All right, so 2-2 for them puts them at 8-8. Washington is home against Baltimore, at Cleveland, at Philly, home against Dallas. What do you got? What do you think they go through? I mean, me personally, I look at that. I see them I'd put them at about 2-2. Because I think they split the division games at the end of the year, and they split. I think I could see them beating Baltimore, but believe it or not, I know this is going to sound crazy to say, but I think on the road at Cleveland, the one thing this Cleveland team has done is played good defense. They're not consistent on offense, but I think I could see them splitting, going 2-2, which would put them at 8-8. So we have the Giants at 8-8, them at 8-8, and then Dallas's remaining schedule goes this week they're against Cincinnati. Then the following week, I believe it's Pittsburgh. Yeah, they're at Cincinnati this week, then home against Pittsburgh, home against New Orleans, and at Washington. And I don't like being a negative Nelly, but I could see them 1-3 in that stretch.
Yeah.
I mean, at Cincinnati, home against Pittsburgh, home against New Orleans, at Washington. So at 1-3, that puts the Cowboys at 7-9.
There. I could see the Cowboys 2-2.
It'd be close.
Because I think they could beat Washington. And I think they could squeak out either a win against Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, or
I think they have a chance to beat New Orleans in Dallas.
And I think they got a chance to beat Pittsburgh in Dallas, too. Pittsburgh doesn't have much of a run game, and if you can get after Big Ben and you can be physical with the receivers up front, you could beat the Steelers. It's not that far-fetched. I could see that game being a pretty close game coming down to the wire.
Hey, you know what? And so, in other words, right now, from what me and you were saying, is we could picture all 3 of these teams at 8-8 when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
Which means if that's the case...
Well, hold on, wait. Where are the Cowboys at now?
They're 6-6. Washington 6-6. Giants 7-5 or 7-6. Wait.
7-5.
7-5. Giants 7. So 7-5, 6-6, 6-6. So each one, if all 3 of them go 2-2, the Giants take it to 9-7, which is pretty much what we called for when the year started. It was about a 9-7 record taking the NFC East. I think, though, the interesting thing about all of this is the idea behind the Redskins possibly being able to win this division.